Would you take a look at that, guys? The green is continuing in SoFi stock. It's currently about 12:45 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have SoFi up around 0.75% in the midst of a red day overall for the stock market, where the VIX is up over 2.5%. So we have to break down the charts, my trading plan with SoFi, and of course where I see it going in the short term. But first, guys, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and get up to 15 stocks for a Moomoo. Once you open up your account and fund it with at least $100, you get 5 stocks and you get a $30 cash reward. And fund your account with at least $1,000, you get 10 more stocks, and your uninvested cash for now will earn up to 8.1% APY, which, guys, that's a no-brainer. It's the best deal by far in the market right now. So use that link down below or go to stocksurfest.com/Moomoo. Get your money. And with that being said, cheers. Let's get right into the video. So like I said, it's currently about 12:45 p.m. on the East Coast, and SoFi is up over 0.75% now, pushing $10.50. And earlier in the day, it was actually at $10.58, taking out the highs from yesterday. You heard that right, guys. We took out the highs from yesterday, and you can see on the 5-day with today's pop at open, we broke out of the highs from the last week. You guys can see that right here, and we're moving in the right direction. The momentum for the bulls is continuing to build up. This is very good news. And here on the 20-day chart, you guys can see we're still above the 50 and the 180 moving averages, and we actually hit a fresh high on this time frame as well, which means we're pushing over a month high to a multi-week high at this point in time, which is very good news. We're actually at a fresh high in months. You know, we're at a multi-week, we're at a multi-high or month high right now, heading into earnings, which are coming out, it looks like, on the 29th, so 1 week from today. You guys heard that right. In 1 week, next Tuesday in the morning, we're getting SoFi's earnings, so it's about to get real, guys. It is about to get real. And now we're officially up from 586. We hit that point early August. We are up now officially over 80%. You heard that right. Over 80% off the lows in less than 90 days, guys. That is freaking insane, right? So SoFi is clearly making a big move here. And on the 3-year chart, if I pull this up and zoom in a little bit, like I've covered before on this channel, 1175 is the next main gap to fill. And now we're wrestling with 1050 still. It looks like, it wants to break out of there. We're not fully out of it yet, but, we keep getting signs of a little breakout above 1050. Then it comes down a bit under 1050, kind of like what we're seeing right now. But once we get the full breakout, the big leg up above 1050 towards 1075, it would be safe to say at that point, in my opinion, 1150, 1175 could be next. That was the high from July of 2023, and I see us getting there sooner rather than later. But of course, with earnings coming up, that always makes things interesting, right, guys? So we'll see how that plays out. But as of now, man, we are pushing up almost 1% now in the midst of a red day where the Russell's down 0.4%, same with the NASDAQ, S&P's down 0.3%, and the Dow is pretty much at break even, but slightly in the red, down almost 20 points. So, yeah, pretty interesting day for SoFi, continuing to push, man, despite there being some volatility and red in the indexes. Now, let me show you guys this tool that I've been using for my trading, edgeful.com. We've covered it before here on the channel, but I want to show you guys, SoFi in this tool so we can get a better idea of how the stock has been performing over the past month. using the price action report type, which this tool is great for giving you insight, for giving you data on a bunch of different stocks on different time frames. And when you're trading, guys, in the stock market, you need data, you need insight, you need as much of it as you can get to better your decision-making processes, right? And this is exactly what Edgeful.com has helped me do, right? So right here, we have the price action report type, and the report itself is the gap fill report. The ticker here is Sofi, obviously. Sofi, we're talking about it. And the date range, we have in this case 1 month, but you could put 3 months, 6 months, year to date, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, and it'll pull that data, right? But for now, we're going to look at the past 1 month for Sofi, looking at the price action report. So we have seen gap ups and gap downs in SoFi stock, obviously, right? So for the gap ups, when the stock has gapped up in the morning, 60% of the time it's filled, 40% of the time it didn't fill the gap. We'll talk about what that means in a second. Now, when it gapped down, 100% of the time it has filled the gap down. And you can see it here a bit more over my big old head, guys. You can see the data broken down a bit more. And this, again, will help us, trade SoFi. Although I am a long-term investor, I'm also a trader. So I'm in SoFi as a long-term, but I'm also trading the ins and outs, the moves that we're seeing in the short term. So look, in the past month, we've seen 15 gap ups, 4 gap downs, right? So when it's gapped up, and that makes sense considering how much SoFi's gone up, when it's gapped up, we've seen 9 times or 60% of the gap ups fill, and 6 times or 40% of the time the gap ups did not fill. And the gap downs, we saw 4 gap downs and 4 gap downs filled. So each time we've gapped down, we have filled that gap 100% of the time. So to give you guys a little bit of insight here on what this means, right? So we have a gap up right here. Gap up essentially is when you open above the day before's closing price. So it's very simple. You guys see the big gap up here, right? The gap down is when you open below the day one close price. So we've seen a lot of gapping up considering, again, SoFi has been crushing it, right? The bulls have been going crazy on this stock. So what we're noticing here is we've seen 15 gap ups, right? So if we want to trade this, clearly based on the last month, more times than not, we're gapping up, right? And another great way to kind of play this is look at the percentages, right? If we want to play our odds here, over the last month, we've been gapping up more than gapping down. If we notice a bit of a sell-off into close, right? Maybe, we take the bet for the next day that we're going to gap up into the next day, right? That could make sense there. So that's how we could use this tool, at least one of the ways. And again, we've gapped down 4 times. So gap down has filled all 4 times. So if we go to the gap down filled, what does that mean? Well, we can see here we gap down in the morning, and by it filling, that means it goes right back to the closing price from the last day. So guys, this is huge. Based on the last month, SoFi, each time it's gapped down 4 times, we have filled that gap up, right, by the end of the day, or at some point during the day. We gap down in the morning, all right, and then we've actually rallied and we filled the gap up. So if we see SoFi in the short term, gapping down in the morning, there's a bit of red, we're falling under the previous day's closing price, we can bet that it will fill the gap. At least it has 4 times, 100% of the time throughout the past month. So this is kind of a way you can use this tool, guys. Very useful when it comes to trading. It's got a lot of insights here, and I really love the price action, the gap fill report, and you can look at this on many different date ranges, right? You got 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, like I said, year to date, and the list goes on. But yeah, that's a quick way that I've been using this for my trading. So if you guys want to check out edgeful.com, I have a link down below. Feel free to go check it out. That's kind of how I'm using it right now for my Sofi stock trading. And, it's been going well. It's been going well. You guys know the stock is crushing it. I'm long in my long-term portfolio as well at $6.80. And I'm waiting for this breakout at 1060. If we get out of there, guys, this could be going a lot higher in my humble opinion in the short term and, of course, over the longer term. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm very curious where your head's at on SoFi. Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you simply holding? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to check out edgeful.com and to get up to 15 stocks for a Moomoo with at least a $100 deposit. All of those are linked down below, guys. And with that being said, cheers. I'll catch you in the next video.